Why? So, yeah. Hi. It's my voice. I know. Crazy, right? Anyway, I've been looking forward to making this, so I hope you enjoy it. Plus, spoilers ahead, so if you don't like spoilers, click off. Yeah. I wanted to share my thoughts on Breath of the Wild and the new direction Nintendo is trying to take. I'm going to share my opinion on the matter along with a few other things. So, Breath of the Wild. This game has brought a storm stronger than a song could ever bring. The hype levels were so high. Oh, jeez. I soon bought a Switch a few months after it came out and got Breath of the Wild. It was amazing. I got attached to it faster than a fish to bait. I was addicted. The immediate sense of freedom set me ablaze and colored me impressed. The gameplay just felt so natural, and I loved it. They made the game mechanics according to logic, which opens up huge possibilities, such as fire creating an updraft, trees bearing fruit, weapons breaking, food healing, etc. A particularly genius mechanic is the stamina bars. The fact that you are limited to a degree can provide an incentive to play more, which is great. I was looking at a cliff upon the horizon and was immediately thinking of climbing to the top. I was mesmerized by its height, and I was so intimidated. I tried climbing it, but I didn't have enough stamina to reach the top, so that pushed me to find more shrines to get spirit orbs that could eventually turn into stamina vessels. I soon reached the top and the satisfaction was so great. It was wonderful. But this brings me to one issue Bot W has. Rain. The Goliath to my David. This broke me the first time I found it because it limited me so greatly. The fact that the rain is such an opposition is kind of bad for an open world game, as you have to wait quite a long time until the rain has stopped or the weather cycle changed. It sucks. But nonetheless, a great mechanic that could use tweaking. Stamina is also used for running, which is this game's base travel, and paragliding, which I think is particularly great on the dev team's end. As I said before, it limits you, but it pushes you to get more stamina, which is great. Another mechanic that I loved was the shrines, which is great because it did these little puzzles and the orange dots that orange structures that dot the map, and it's great because they're everywhere. There's 120 of them, which is a lot more shrineage than I thought there would be. There's a lot more puzzles that you can do and earn spirit orbs for heart containers or stamina vessels, which is a great way to progress the games, I think, because the enemies also scale the more you play, which is great. Okay, now let's talk about the Divine Beasts. They're the basic plot points for this game, and were created to help you beat Ganon into the ground. They are huge and have intricate designs, which bolsters huge, wild imagination. I love the tilting aspect, which allows for some pretty cool puzzles too. But the blights? Oh, the blights! The blights! Okay, stop screaming into the mic. They're great, and I love their designs. It's just, they're all the same blob of pink gunk! Like what? I was kind of confused because I was like, where was the variety? Like, come on! It's just as repetitive as the enemy types. Thunder, water, fire, wind. Also Mobo, Bobo, and yeah, that's it. It just kind of bit at me for a while, so I wanted to talk about it here. Another issue I had with the game was the story. Open world games do kind of have a problem with the story aspect, and my issue with it isn't that big. The story focuses on the Sheikah and the technological prowess. There's also the champions, which I'll talk about in a bit. The story focuses on ancient technology the Sheikah possessed and how they were way ahead of its time. But apparently the king suppressed it for a while, and it wasn't discovered until the king in the game, King Bosphorus Hyrule, who needed to excavate these ancient relics to defeat Ganon. But then swirly Calamity Ganon came up with a devious plan that belittled the Sheikahs entirely. Link collapses protecting Zelda and goes for a 100-year nap. Now you wake up to the world devastated. Even the Temple of Time has completely collapsed. I thought it was so nice adding elements and landmarks from previous games. It felt so nostalgic. One gripe is that I wanted to know more, so I bought, essentially, an Art of kind of book, where it explained more. I just think it isn't that great to hide the interesting parts of the story behind a paywall. The champions were very creative were a very creative aspect of the game, which I really appreciated. Now, I know very little content was provided, but I felt like I was with them. I really liked them, and how I could learn their character. Urbosa is another type, but doesn't have the strength to express itself. Daruk is a tough, but has a gentler side. Rivali is overconfident, but tries to live up to it by working hard and pushing himself. I really like this, but I wish more of the game was put to them. Besides, Bob W is a great game that took Zelda World by storm. Everyone loved it, as did I. But I have a sudden issue with Nintendo itself. Oh, great segue. So I played and watched people play Majora's Mask, which was and still is arguably the best and most unique entry in the Zelda series. It has a mechanic that uses masks to transform into different entities, such as a Goron, a Zora, or a Deku. Everyone, despite Nintendo's shame, loved it. They loved the dark undertone, the repetitive sense of surrealism, and the stories that were shared in the game. But the landmarks ruined that. It stripped the game of what it made fun. The Zora swimming wasn't that special anymore. The bosses had tedious fighting sequences, and even though the graphics were pretty, they nerfed pretty much the whole game. Nerf Game and Go, out of here. Bot W did stray from the Zelda formula, which made it so special. Bot W is a sign that they still care and are willing to let people experience a special feeling all over again. I hope you enjoyed, and have a nice day. Now, don't forget to tell your parents that you love them. Have a nice day. Hey, you better. Okay, I know my voice sounds like absolute toaster on this microphone. I'm at my friend's house where one of their kids has a microphone, and I'm using it right now because they said I could use it, so it's pretty toaster. I know.
Yeah, you can tell.
Sorry this video took so long to come out at school and stuff, and good grades and all that. Sorry this took so long, and I know this is my first review, so I'd like to have your own opinions or feedback in the comments. I'd really appreciate that. And look at this microphone. This microphone can do stuff like this. Wait.
Things like this.
Or
Things like this.
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 I'm gonna do the default.
I know.
I'm gonna do the default dance sound
Okay.
for the microphone.
I mean, this voice, I've been playing with it for a while, and I just realized I can do this.
I'm.
I'll stop. Bye bye.
Everyone can hear you. Everyone can hear you. Sorry, I broke my legs.
No. It needs to charge.
It'll charge when it needs to.